Now, let's move on to our friend Gary Lineker. Now, he shared a tweet, he retweeted a tweet a couple of days ago in which...
calling for ban of Israel from international football.
Yeah.
I might have a different opinion on this.
Well,
I'm fed up talking about Gary Lineker because he's taken the mickey out of everybody. The BBC, he's like a show pony to them.
Yeah.
He can get away with everything.
Well, here's what's happened, is that a Hamas-linked news agency has printed an article saying renowned English broadcaster calls for Israel to be banned from international football. In other words, he's been endorsed by Hamas. That's
right.
nice, isn't it?
A terrorist organisation.
Finally, it dawned on his dim brain that this is going a bit far. So what he's now saying is, oh, it was a mistake. I didn't read the tweet properly.
And you know what this is as well? I don't know if you saw this some time ago. The incoming BBC chairman, Samir Shah, he'd suggested that the new social media guidelines of the corporation needed strengthening. He didn't actually show his unequivocal support behind Gary Lineker, so that might also be a thing. The thing with Lineker is, I mean, he might be rowing back. Doesn't give a damn. Somebody will pick him up.
Yeah. And he should be being very careful about social media. He would be the first to say that, given the trouble he's been in, given his relationship with the BBC. He's clearly just pressing buttons without even thinking. Either that or he's too stupid to read what was in that tweet. And, well, let's have a listen to an MP, a very fine MP for Stoke called Jonathan Gullis, who Gary Lineker at one point accused of not being able to read. Outrageous. Take it away, Jonathan.
You know, this is ultimately Gary Lineker once again jumping on the social media bandwagon for cheap likes without actually having any understanding of the organisations that he's talking about or the impact it would have on his words have when it comes to being a Jewish resident in this country. So I think that Gary Lineker is an abomination to the BBC, is a disgrace to sports presenting because he doesn't talk about football, he talks about politics, and ultimately should do the right thing, which is to step down and move away and find another broadcaster.
Yeah, perhaps, as I say, Lineker accused Jonathan of not being able to read in one of their earlier spats. Perhaps it's Gary that can't read because he says that he misunderstood that tweet. Never mind. Brush up on your reading skills, Gary, and then maybe you won't make the same mistake again.
This is amazing. This is like God, you are on something, aren't you?
Well, this is what we do.
Yeah, I know. Blimey.
You're a natural for it.
Rishi Sunak.
This is Rishi Sunak says Houthi strikes were necessary and proportionate. He's absolutely right. Yep. But yesterday, I wonder what will happen now. There was a definite attack by the Houthis on an American-linked ship, cargo ship, off the coast of Yemen. Both Lord Cameron and Sunak say there will be repercussions. The Americans will get stuck in. Now, the government's very keen to say this is not an escalation. It's an escalation, isn't it?
We did quite a lot of this on breakfast this morning. I have quite a strong view. We had Tobias Elwood on the other week who was saying we're now really like 1939. There's a Cold War. There's the elephant in the room is that axis of Russia and China. You can add North Korea, certainly Iran. And you look at what's happening in Gaza. You look at what's happening in Ukraine. And actually, it's time that we wised up to the fact that people will take advantage if we are not strong. Interestingly, yesterday as well, Shapps saying, you know, do you know that when Shapps, I found this out this morning, ran for Prime Minister, ran for leadership, and Jeremy Hunt, they both said we should be spending more on defence, 3% of GDP. I think this is all about we should increase our security and we should do more about our military because of this threat. That is potentially a vote winner. If you were a Tory politician, you went to the country and said, we need to strong. The problem is there's war fatigue and you've got that cost of living and people will go, why are we giving billions? We're giving billions to protect our freedom. Our war, by the way, in Ukraine is our war, Europe's war, isn't it?
It is indeed. And here's one thing, a question I would like to ask. Call me naive. I hit upon this last week, and a lot of experts are saying, well, you've got a point. It is this. So you go, oh, Hamas, they're backed by Iran. They've invaded Gaza. Oh, that's terrible. Hezbollah, they're firing rockets. They're backed by Iran. Oh, the Houthis, they're backed by Iran. So we attack the Houthis, we attack Hamas, we attack Hezbollah. Why don't we attack Iran? I mean, what's Netanyahu says we're going to bite the head off the snake. Well, we're not attacking the head of the snake. The head of the snake is Iran, and we're just attacking the snake.
Listen,
if you see what I mean.
Well, there's one way of putting it. I don't disagree with that at all. What's this story about Boris?
This is amazing. Boris Johnson, and I know for a fact that our colleagues on that excellent newspaper, The Sun, part of our company,
Although I was slightly worried about the front page of The Sun today. Did you see it?
Yeah, well, yeah, I saw it.
Kyle has sixth child with wife for a change.
I saw a headline at the weekend saying, evil Kyle wrecked my life. I said, what's Jezza been up to now?
I walked in at 4 o'clock this morning and went, jeez, I am having a baby. It is number 6. was... Oh, it's Carl Walker. That made me morning.
That's Jeremy Kyle, not Kyle Walker, I should stress. But The Sun checked this story out because it barely passes muster. It sounds like completely nonsense. That Boris Johnson has made a bid for the £30,000 life-size replica of the number 10 Downing Street door featured in Netflix The Crown. Now, The Sun put this story to Boris, thinking that Boris would go, rubbish. They didn't get any denial. It's true.
He's that keen to get back through the front door. He spent 30 grand on a replica.
Yeah, Boris, I think that's about the only number 10 Downing Street door you're ever going to walk through again.
You say that, and you know I'm his cheerleader. I don't agree with Partygate. Look what's happening to Trump. Stranger things have happened. We need leadership in this country, don't we?
Yeah.